BRRRR is a very popular real estate investing term. Just a good investment because what
Yes.
works for me or for you may not work for the other investor. What do I want as an investor? So I
Mm.
would say that's the biggest thing is like understand what do you want to achieve as an investor.
But for those people who don't know, what does BRRRR
Okay, yes. So
stand
it does not mean cold cash. I want to say that.
Hey,
And
cold cash. I like that though.
so BRRRR is a very popular real estate investing term. So it means buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. So because of that, being in the real estate investing world, for SEO purposes, we picked a name where investors will search or know. So I guess also too, I created BRRRR Cash. I used to mentor investors as well, and the common thing was, if you mentor investor, they always needed financing. So I used to refer them out to other individuals, and sometimes it was great, situations. Sometimes it wasn't, and then sometimes they say listen to the common question that keeps coming up, and I was like, you know what, I should consider creating my own company to help investors because I understand the products. I use it for myself. I also used to mentor investors as well. So it was the right fit for me to go into that space of creating BRRRR Cash.
Nice, nice. I love it. I love it. It's like find a niche and fill it, and it's in alignment with what you're doing with your investment and mentoring. So I didn't know you were a mentor for investors. So besides that number one question, how to get money, what would you say is the next question that a lot of investors um, are are challenged that a lot of investors face?
Oh, so a common question is this a good investment?
Yes.
And I typically, when I used to mentor investors, I always say, well, every investor needs to determine what's their investment criteria because what
Yes.
works for me or for you may not work for the other investor.
That's so
So it needs to
true.
take some time to say, okay, what do I want as an investor? And then once you do that, you run the numbers to see does that scenario meet what I want, or do I have to adjust my scenario, or do I need to adjust my location? So I
Mm,
would say that's the biggest thing is like understand what do you want to achieve as an investor, and then also too there are different risks, of course, depending on what type of investing you want to do. So I always say also, how much, try to get a gauge of your risk tolerance and your time that you have available to jump to this endeavor of investing in real estate.
indeed, indeed. That's a really really great answer, and it applies not only to investment, but it also applies in buying a single family house. People are like, "I want a good deal." I'm like,
Yeah.
that is so relative. So what neighborhood, what area, what amenities? I watched that show, International. People who are looking for properties internationally. So
Yeah.
coming from the United States, they have a certain perspective. One is space. We have a lot of space in our properties. And when you go abroad, houses are smaller, they have smaller living spaces because they don't live in the house, they live outside, right? The house is a place where you enjoy your family, you may eat and you sleep, but life is lived outside of the house, so they don't put a lot of space into the houses there. Whereas here, you know,
Big
we
homes. Yeah.
attach so much to the size of the house. It's a status thing. The bigger your house is, the more house you can. It's just we in America, we're just so different than people abroad. So, when people are looking at what they want, what works for them, it's different for everyone. And as you said, for I think the number one thing is for people to establish what works for them and what they're looking for in terms of their return on investment and what they want that property to do for them currently and in the long run. So yeah, I appreciate that. So who is your ideal client for BRRRR Cash? I like that name, BRRRR Cash.
So I would say it's someone who actually wants to, achieve generational wealth, financial freedom, right? That they've determined that yes, I want to start investing in real estate. And I say that to say is that if you're still on the fence for investing in real estate, you might not be the ideal client because you still haven't. I'm not going to try to motivate you to do something that you don't want to do. So my client is a person who's ready to take action, and then from there we'll get them on their path to help them with real estate investing. And I can tell you too, A benefit of being a client, especially a past client, is that because I used to mentor investors, you get unofficial mentorship along your journey as you acquire real estate assets.